Alright, in this video we're going to talk about a graph related to our last one, our histogram. This graph is called a frequency polygon. Just like histograms, we use frequency polygons for quantitative data. So this is for numeric data. In histograms, we were plotting our class boundaries versus our frequency. For frequency polygons, we're going to be plotting our class midpoint versus frequency. Instead of bars, we are going to plot each midpoint frequency pair as a dot. At the end, we're going to play connect the dots, but before we do that, we want to use one step below our min and one step above our max. And I'll tell you what that looks like when we do our example. And then we're going to play connect the dots. And you'll see why in just a second. For our example, you can see that frequency table that we made when we were talking about histograms. So this is that graph of shoe sizes for 50 men. We've already set up our class bounds. We've already sorted our frequency. So that's half the battle. What I really need is now I need to figure out where is the midpoint of each of these classes. What number is halfway between 8.95 and 9.95? So to find my midpoint, I'm going to take the lower bound plus the upper bound, and I'm going to divide it by 2. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to write those in blue next to our table. Except I did a little bit of extra erasing there that I didn't mean to do. All right, so let's grab our calculator. We'll do some calculating. So I want to do 8.95 plus 9.95 and then divide by 2. So 9.45 if I knew how to talk. I'm going to double check the next one, but I would bet money it's going to be 10.45. And it is. So I see the pattern. 10.45, 11.45, 12.45, 13.45, 14.45. And then you'll notice it says one step below the min, one step above the max. And now that I know that I'm counting by 0.45s, going one step below is going to give me 8.45, and then one step above is going to give me 15.45. When I draw my axis, these are now the hash marks on my x-axis. So let's go ahead and start sketching our graph. I know vertically I need to go up to 20. So we'll start counting there. I think that works if I count by 2s. We'll double check. So 0, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20. Good, I still know how to count. And then here I'm going to go back and count my numbers. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I need to go 8 out the other direction. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then we label them starting with 8.45 and counting up. And then we remember we label our axes, so frequency is on the Y, and then shoe size is on the X. So different color, I'm going to start drawing these dots. My first and last should be 0 because I don't have any data points less than 8.95. I don't have any data points more than 14.95. So I shouldn't have anything here or here. So the very first things I'm going to do is on those edges, I'm going to make dots at 0. I should always have a closed polygon. That's why it got its name, a frequency polygon. It's forming a closed shape with respect to the x-axis. From here, I'm just going to plot heights at midpoint. So I'm going to go up to 4, maybe if my pen decides to cooperate, and then 14, and then 20, and then we come back down to 11, and then 0, and then 1, and then 0. And then my last step is to play connect the dots. So first point to second point to third point, all the way across the graph. And that is our completed frequency polygon. You'll notice it had a very similar shape to our histogram in the last graph video. Sorry, brain fart there. So histograms and frequency polygons do give us very similar information. This one required a little bit of extra work in that once I had my class boundaries, I had to calculate a class midpoint. But otherwise, same general shape. I can see that little hiccup in the middle where I had a missing class, and then it goes back up at the end. If you have any questions on how we constructed our frequency polygon, feel free to email me. Otherwise, I will see you in our next video.